Alright, welcome to another multi-time frame analysis video. And sa video na to, our focus will be on AEV. Now, as always, magsisimula tayo sa higher time frames. In this instance, sa monthly time frame po tayo magsisimula. Then we'll slowly work our way down papunta sa daily time frame, no? Now, the purpose of this exercise is to help us see kung meron bang mga nangyayari sa higher time frames na baka hindi natin napupuna because we're so focused on the daily or the lower time frames, and at the same time help us form potential scenarios para kung sakali mang mangyari ang gusto or ayaw natin na mangyari, handa tayo at alam natin kung ano ang gagawin natin. Okay? Now, dito sa monthly time frame, as we can see, may nabuo tayong head and shoulders pattern so far. Okay? Some people would argue, and I can't say na mali sila, na ito na yung right shoulder mo, na nag-fall na tayo, nag-drop tayo beneath the neckline, and what's happening now is a pullback. Posible yon. I see it. But for me, rather than focusing on where potentially nabuo yung head and shoulders pattern, it's more important to focus kung saan tayo pwede mag-iba ng pananaw natin moving forward. Diba? Oo, sige, may head and shoulders pattern. Oo, sige, it's a bearish pattern. Pero what needs to happen para ma-invalidate yung pattern na yun? Now, kung papansinin natin, yung AEV since inception, which was around 2004-2005, no? Pataas siya, di ba? Maganda yung pagtaas, and then around 2016, for about 2 years, nag-consulan tayo dito sa taas. Tapos, after natin mag-fall, okay? Nag-pull back tayo once again dito sa area of previous lows. Again, very textbook, no? Tapos, from there, we push lower. Etong lower push na to, ito ay naganap nung kasagsagan ng pandemic around March 2020, no? So, when this happened, diba, nagkaroon tayo ng recovery, we pushed higher, and then from there, we tried to push lower again, formed support dito around 34 pesos, and then, 2021 onwards, medyo pataas na yung trajectory natin. So, head and shoulders pattern man or hindi, as of the moment, the overall trajectory, the overall movement for the current market is up. However, we do need to acknowledge na nung 2022, nang simula pa lang, around January, naabot natin tong high na to, around 65 pesos. Okay? So, kung tinitingnan natin, ito yung high natin for the year at ito yung low natin for the year. Yan yung nag-a-act ng current range natin from 44.85 hanggang 65.15. Bakit ang laki ng range? Hindi natin may iwasan na ganoon talaga kasi nasa mataas pa tayo na time frame. As we go down further, you will see na madidrill down natin to at magkakaroon tayo ng mas clarity moving forward. Now, the other thing that we want to notice is dito sa monthly time frame, nag-close tayo ng July ng bullish engulfing. Now, does that mean na dapat all in na? Does that mean na dapat, hindi, bili na yan kasi lilipad na yan from here? Well, based on this time frame alone, we need to acknowledge na number one, there is a larger pattern that could potentially be in play. While not all patterns play out, hindi naman po siguro masama for us to keep that in mind para lang kung sakaling medyo tumagilid ang mga tinitingnan natin, handa tayo, no? And the other thing is, okay, and I purposely held off saying this kanina, we are essentially forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern here as well. Okay? Ito yung left shoulder, head, right shoulder, no? So, maaari na tapos na yung pagtulak natin pababa. We've seen the worst because of yung nangyari, because of the pandemic. Tapos ngayon na meron na po tayong bagong political regime, meron na tayong bagong presidente, meron na tayong bagong term, then this could be seeing an uptick moving forward. Now, let's move on to the weekly time frame and let's see kung ano yung makikita natin doon. Now, again, hindi ko na po siya ipapakita dito, but I just want you to keep in mind yung mga overall larger patterns na nakita natin, no? Para din mas merong context yung pinag-uusapan natin as we move forward. Now, dito sa weekly chart, mapapansin nyo, medyo dumami na ng konti yung levels natin. And that's because mas lumalabas na yung structure. That's what happens. More candles mean more structure. Mas meron tayong mga key points or mga levels na pwedeng punahin, no? Now, keeping in mind na meron tayong potential larger head and shoulders pattern in play, regardless of whether or not na may inverse head and shoulders na nabubuo, what we want to see, okay, I am not saying na dapat dito lang tayo pumasok ha, but what we want to see is ma-break sana tong area na to. Sorry, nahata ko ng konti yung level. Alright, so that's the 6950. So what we want to see is ma-break sana tong area na to. Okay? Kasi once that breaks, that negates yung yung right shoulder nung head and shoulders pattern. Regardless of tinitingnan nyo man siya na, hindi, baka ito na yung high ng right shoulder. Hindi, ito yun. Regardless, itong area na to, kung mabasag yan, both of them are negated. And that opens up this larger range above kung saan tayo nag-consolidate ng 2 taon from 69.50 hanggang 84.4. Now, does that mean na porket nabasag yung 69.5, dapat ang expectation natin is 84 na agad? Of course not, no? Alam natin na may mga levels na nag-aabang sa area na to. I didn't mark it out kasi dadami lalo yung linya, but we are aware na they're there. So always keep that in the back of your head para hindi masyadong overblown yung expectation nyo on where price could go if it does in fact break a certain area. Okay? So, yan yung parang pinaka, kumbaga, open the floodgates moment dapat. Now, where we are now, kung titingnan natin, we are forming higher highs and higher lows. This is your low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, no? So that's good. Nagpapatuloy tayo. Okay? Sa mga tumitingin ng Elliott wave, possible na ito yung 1, 2, 3, 4. So baka ito yung 5. But I know, okay, hindi ako magaling dyan. I'm just saying na possible. I'm sure na ngayong mga mas magagaling sa akin, mga mas practice sa Elliott wave, can read this in a different way. Okay? So from here, my expectation is if we can hold above tong area na to, between 52.35 hanggang 54.15, then dapat we start filling in this range here between 54.15 hanggang 65.15. Bakit? Kasi once we segmented the chart into yung mga tighter ranges na, ito yung next possible range eh. So, the expectation dapat is now that we're kind of there, actually not kind of, now that we're there, dapat kung mag-hold nga tong 54.15, this should be a tradable range moving forward. Whether or not it breaks is irrelevant. Okay? Yung break na yon, parang added na natin yan eh. Parang, uy, nag-open na yung floodgates. But this should be a tradable range assuming mag-hold tong area na to. If 52.35 doesn't hold at all, tapos bumalik tayo, binalikan natin tong mga lows na to, then in this time frame din, nagbuo tayo ng head and shoulders pattern. Pagka ganon, then regardless of how bullish you are or what your beliefs are pertaining to AEV in particular, you might need to wait a bit longer for things to set up and start moving in your favor. Kasi biglang pumangit yung chart eh. Now, kung bakit man nangyari yon, maybe it's because talagang malakas yung selling pressure, talagang hindi maganda yung overall sentiment because of yung nangyayari, not just here, but globally, from monkeypox to the war, what have you, diba? It's just something to keep in mind. Ang sa akin lang is basta nag-hold tayo sa area na to na pinag-usapan natin, okay? Then dapat, etong area na yan, then dapat nga, etong range na to, yung pinaggagalawan na ng price moving forward. Now, does that mean na dapat bumili na? Sabi, hanggang dito daw yung punta. Of course not. We still need to see kung mag-hold. Plus, where we are right now, parang binalikan natin yung area of previous support netong tight consolidation na to prior to breaking down. So, hindi ako magugulat kung makahanap tayo ng some type of resistance there prior to price moving to the upside if it was gonna move to the upside. Okay? So, again, konting ingat-ingat lang. We've identified key areas that we want to either break or hold. And we've also identified yung mga lower areas na ayaw natin sana makitang mabasag. Kasi kung nabasag nga, baka mas tumulak pang pababa ang price nitong AEV as we head towards Q4, or rather head deeper into Q3 and then towards Q4 ng 2022. Now let's go down to the daily time frame and try to see kung meron pa ba tayo makikita doon that would give further clarity dito sa AEV. And then finally, dito sa daily chart ng AEV, what do we see? Syempre, number one, dumami yung mga key levels, key points natin, no? So medyo dumami rin ng konti yung mga lines, but we can narrow our focus a little bit now that we have yung mga higher time frame levels and targets in mind. Kung hindi nyo na naalala, feel free to rewind, rewatch para kapag pinanood nyo to, mas malinaw pa yung pinag-uusapan natin, no? Now again, from here, nagpo-form nga tayo ng higher highs and higher lows, 'di ba? Starting from here, 'di ba? Low, high, higher low, 'di ba? Pwedeng ito higher high, higher low, higher high, etc. Whatever. Basta na-plot out na natin siya sa weekly, no? From here, what I do want to see is for price to pull back into this blue zone at tignan kung mag-hold yung blue zone na yan. If this blue zone can hold, then the expectation is dapat from here, we start pushing higher. Okay? Tapos yung mga levels na pwede nating pag-untugan will be 57.65, which in fact, inuntugan na natin dito. Followed by 60 pesos, followed by 63.25 bago natin maabot yung sinabi natin kaninang high end ng range at 65.15. However, if from here naman we pull back, binalikan natin tong blue zone, hindi siya nag-hold, we break it. Tas we even break beneath tong mga minor swing lows na to. Then what we can expect is number one, mababalikan natin tong 48.5. Tapos, kung nabasag yan, 44.85 yung next. And if that breaks as well, then malamang babalikan natin tong area of previous consolidation na to. And if that doesn't hold, 34 pesos na yung next level of support natin. Medyo may kalaliman ng konti, no? Now, I am not saying that price is gonna go all the way back here as much as I'm not saying that price is gonna fly all the way up pataas to sa mga nakita nating levels kanina sa higher time frames. I am simply stating na as long as price can hold above this blue zone, that's potentially a good sign para dito sa AEV. So, what I'm looking to see as we head into the next week, the next month, what have you, is magkaroon nga tayo ng magandang pullback. Maganda lagi na hindi nagmamadali ang pag-angat ng price. Kasi kapag usually, yung mga sunod-sunod lang na pagtaas, malakas din siyang mahatak eh. Diba? As we've discussed numerous times in the past. What we want to see is yung very orderly. Either nag-i-stair step o yung nagpo-pullback ng maayos para kapag gano'n, mas matibay, mas may pundasyon yung pag-angat niya. Mas maganda lang overall. Mas maraming nakakasakay, mas maraming area na nadidepensahan, and so on, no? So, yun yung mga inaabangan ko dito sa AEV. A good pullback. Watch kung mag-hold tong blue zone na to. If this rejects well, then syempre, we hope na from there, we can start pushing to the upside, no? Tapos yun na nga, keep in mind lang lahat ng levels na na-identify natin dito para handa kayo. Kung nauntog man doon, at least walang bulaga kasi napag-usapan na natin eh. Tapos kung nabasag naman to the downside, assuming may position na kayo ngayon, alam nyo rin kung ano yung mga dapat nyo nang iwasan or mga dapat medyo baka kailangan i-preempt nyo na konti. Maybe reduce your position, maybe cut it all together. Kayo bahala, no? Now, the other thing that I want to see dito sa AEV is hindi mabuo all together etong kumbaga smaller head and shoulders pattern na nabuo. We saw this sa weekly. Tapos ngayon, parang mas malaking version lang sa daily. Kasi essentially, ito, head and shoulders din yan sa daily. Tapos nabuo yung pattern. Now we're trying to negate it. So now we want to see na dapat, sige, tapos na tayo, na-achieve na natin yung target ng pattern na yan. Now we're pushing higher. So ngayon, we want to see na ma-maintain yung strength dito sa AEV. So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin, no? I hope nakatulong po to sa inyo kahit konti and may natutunan kayo kahit papano. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really, really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!